There's no better feeling than a personal win, and the State Farm Personal Price Plan can help you do just that. Talk to a State Farm agent today to learn how you can bundle and save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Everything you learned in history class was a lie. Well, maybe not everything, but they skipped the best parts. Introducing Stupiracy, where stupidity meets conspiracy. Ever heard of the Olympic marathon that nearly killed its runners? Or the time a pope put another pope's corpse on trial? Join me, Scott Rizzuto, and Tim McKernan as we uncover the most outrageous historical moments and mind-blowing conspiracies you won't believe actually happened. Tune into Stupiracy for your weekly dose of historical absurdity. Available wherever you get your podcasts. Remember, history is dumb, but laughing at it is smart.
And now, live from the TCL broadcast studios, it's Joe Souchere and Patrick Royce with Sports Talk.
I had no idea that Patrick Reed had such a checkered history. Did you?
I was aware that he had collegiate problems. I didn't know that he doesn't talk to his parents and that he had a few incidents. Apparently, Mom used to caddy for him, and that didn't work out too well.
Huh.
And when she was an amateur, and Gary Van Sickle was on with Corzo yesterday and told a rather frightful story about a Patrick Reed encounter with his mother while she was caddying for him, in which the word that should never be spoken was uttered, apparently.
Really?
Yes.
To his own mother?
To Mom.
Whoa.
Yeah. Now that's secondhand. But
Sure.
Van Sickle's kid was playing in a group with him as an amateur.
I think he's a hell of a player.
Well, he can roll it. Mm-hmm. He can roll it, man.
McIlroy can't, by the way.
No, that's, hey, Corzo, God love him. He can be a goofball, but he's been saying 2-3 years, Rory McIlroy will never win the Masters because he can't putt.
He sure putted yesterday poorly.
Yep, and it gets started for him. Well, he was fine, and then he missed the eagle putt on 2, and he started thinking. Mm-hmm. And, he would have been tied for the lead. Mm-hmm. After 2 holes, he would have gotten 3 strokes back. He misses that putt. Reed stays, and then he bogeys, and Reed makes par, and he's back to 3 behind. Mm-hmm. And 15 minutes later, after missing that putt, he would have been tied for the lead. Because he made the great par on 1, and he had the little tiny eagle putt on 2. When Reed made that putt on 12, that was the ball game, though. When he was back in the back and rolled that thing in.
I never had a problem with Reed's behavior at Hazeltine. I thought it was fun.
Well, it was, and it was the Ryder Cup. I don't think anybody. I think some of the old stuff-shirted Brits didn't like it, but Rory didn't seem to mind.
No, they were having fun.
I mean, Rory made because the match, it was over. Mm-hmm. The U.S. was going to win, even if Rory had beat him, but they were both rolling in putts. And when he did the Dikembe Mutombo thing, that was funny. Like, no, don't bring that in here. That was funny. Mm-hmm. And I don't know why that to me, I thought would have wiped out his past, and golf fans would have adopted him. I think he could come up here and play in Minnesota, and we give him a big roaring welcome. We loved him, but Georgia, probably 30% of the fans down there are from Georgia. Mm-hmm. Maybe not that many, but 30%. And he got thrown out of Georgia, and they love the Bulldogs down there. And even though he played at Augusta State, right. I guess he didn't get much pub, and they didn't really adopt him.
I think the people who are disappointed that he's the champion should get over it.
Yeah,
he's your Masters winner.
I'm not sure they just weren't willing to celebrate it, is what I saw. But as someone who was there 18 times, I was shocked when he made that 3-4 footer and won, and it was
Yeah.
Because Ricky had just made a putt there previously, and the whole place went crazy. Insane.
Right.
And this guy makes the putt and wins the Masters. Hell, they went crazy for Marco Mira.
Yep.
What the hell? I don't know. I think they wanted Spieth, they wanted Ricky, they really wanted Tiger and Phil, and it was kind of an anticlimactic Sunday for the fan base until Spieth started rolling them in. I'll tell you what, that 4-footer Spieth missed on 18. I would have given you about 20-1 he was going to make that putt. I couldn't believe he missed that one.
Too bad those grounds are not very well manicured. God almighty.
Yeah, they got a little rain, but not enough to turn it into mud behind the ropes, I don't think.
All I kept thinking about, Pat, was a story you told on either Thursday or Friday when Rory was hiding in the flowers, looking for the ball, and how you kept saying how the grounds crew will just they'll put them up even if they're not blooming or in full bloom.
Yeah, I think maybe the year. How many times were you there? Just
once.
Once.
Yeah.
If it's either a late spring or an early spring, and the flowers are not at their best, they'll go put pots up there on the hills and stuff
to make it look like shrubbery.
To make it look like it's prime time.
Sure.
Yeah. Wow. And they can afford it.
I'll bet you it's cheaper to be a member at Augusta than it is at Midland Hills.
Well, sure, because when they invite you, they invite you.
Right.
First of all, if you're standing next to anyone at the course who has any influence, the legend is if you say to them, "Boy, I'd sure like to be a member here," you're out.
It's like Kenny or you're blocking them immediately.
Yes. You're out.
But you
basically
just
have to wait for the letter.
Right. But basically what it's become is a group of guys dedicated to holding that tournament.
Yes, it is.
That's it. They're not open in the summer. They rarely play it themselves. It's become a museum that these guys get. What do they make? What the hell does CBS pay Augusta National? $50 million?
Enough to keep the grounds like they look, and
they don't have.
I'm sure they got some charities they donate to,
but they're not billing Mr. Smith any money.
It's a nonprofit, so they got to spend a lot of their money.
Yeah.
They can't keep it all. Otherwise, they'd have to pay taxes, perhaps. I don't know.
But I looked at a lot of those old geezers in their green jackets yesterday. They're not trudging around that course. They're there as a group of guys they have a club that's dedicated to holding the Masters.
Yes, but then again, you got Wheelock as a member. He used to, take people down. TK played with Wheelock, I believe. TK got down there, and
John Harris was a member.
Yeah, John Harris
still
was
is,
a member.
maybe.
Oh, John's a member.
Yeah.
John.
How did that happen?
He was their kind of U.S. amateur champion, kind of a guy who was not a 25-year-old collegiate. He was a businessman. He was in his 40s. He was a distinguished-looking fellow. He was what amateur golf is way Bobby Jones envisioned it. So let's invite John Harris. And I don't think anybody's ever gotten the envelope and said, "Boy, I can't afford this."
No.
Now, I do understand.
I would be. I'm
betting you it's cheaper than to be a member of Midland Hills.
I understand when you bring down 3 guests for a weekend and you stay in one of the cabins.
Yeah.
You get a pretty good size bill.
I would imagine.
From that.
You got to pay for it. You got to pay for it somehow.
You eat at the course. You eat in the men's grill or in the dining room.
I did learn from a website that kind of covers the Masters that if you are what to do and what not to do, and one of the things on the list of what not to do, if you see a guy with a green jacket on and you may be a little tipsy, kind of look at him and say, "What year did you win?" There you're not going to get a letter. You're not going to get a letter at that point. Once they find out
I loved it, though. My favorite, he's no longer with us, was P. Dan Yates. P. Dan was their media guy. He was the head of their media committee. P. Dan had less idea of media committee as anything, but his brother Charlie was a friend of Bobby Jones and was a great Georgia player. So P. Dan got in. And P. Dan would do some of the interviews. Would be now they have a professional doing those, but back then
Pretty
just a
smart
club
thing.
member do. And P. Dan would say, What you want? You want a whole card of birdies and bogeys? We'd all say, birdies and bogeys. And he'd say, Seba, could you go through the card for us? So just do the opposite. P. Dan was a beauty. He always thought he was going to fall asleep.
Was the founding based on sports writers gathered there? So then Bobby decided, as long as I have the attention, they were sports writers going back north after spring training.
They'd all stop and have a few cocktails.
They'd stop at that place.
They were all drinking buddies with Bobby.
Yeah, and that's how it began.
Yeah. But no, the Masters started first.
Right.
I don't think they stopped there until they had a tournament.
Oh.
I don't think they stopped there to play. Because, hell, the course wasn't open that long before they started the Masters.
Yeah.
It was only a couple of years, I think.
Were you at the ballpark yesterday?
No, I was there Saturday. How about tonight? Let's play ball.
It's going to be a cold one.
You can't beat an April night game when the low is going to be 18.
I got a text from somebody who was at the Milwaukee Brewers Cubs game the other day in Milwaukee. Bud Selig's dream, a full house in April when it's 30 degrees.
That's right. Yeah. There's, well, I don't blame the weather for this. I blame the stupidity of scheduling night games in the first half of April. There's 4 night games scheduled this week. Idiotic.
Well, do you know that asinine? Reavers verified it. This ties the longest homestand of the year. They're home 11 days.
11 days in the middle of it.
Well, I mean, it could have just as easily been 70.
Yes, but what are the odds of that? We're going to have this more often than we're going to have that.
Okay, so the Wild did win their final game at San Jose.
Yeah, how about that? San Jose, too, it was playing for something. If San Jose wins, they're the home team for 7 games against Anaheim. Ooh. They lost. They gave away home ice advantage by getting routed by our boys. And we got a new defenseman. I don't know who his name, Pagliarulo or some damn thing.
Left-handed hitting third baseman.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Bugliarulo or something. He had 2 assists his first game ever. They just signed him out of college.
You got the matchup you wanted, Wild and Winnipeg.
Oh, come on. Let's go. That'll be fun.
They travel well.
And if you own tickets, I think you do a little StubHub action you can get rid of.
So they're back here Sunday, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Is that an afternoon tilt?
No, I think it's a 6er.
Oh, boy.
Look.
Yeah, but they got great starting times. They got great starting times. They're 6 or 6:30 for every game so far.
We recommend, though, that you go through Ticket King. Ticket King is who we recommend.
Right. Ticket King will get you, too. That's right.
Winnipeg,
my guys at
Sunday,
Ticket King.
6 p.m.
And the first 2 are 6:30, right?
6 o'clock Wednesday at Winnipeg, 6:30 Friday at Winnipeg, 6 o'clock Sunday here.
West 7th Street will be festive
rocking
on Sunday.
We have Brian Munns on at 4:15. He's part of the Jets radio team, also a native of Humboldt, Saskatchewan.
What a story.
So we will talk to him at 4:15 or so. And he's give us a good breakdown on the Jets, and then the somber heartbreak in his
15
hometown.
dead.
Yeah. Did you see the story today? They identified a wrong kid.
They misidentified
who turned out to be alive.
Yeah, but then that meant some other kid was dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. So some other family would have thought they're but the semi apparently blew the stop sign. Somebody sent me on Twitter sent out a photo of that intersection where you can
middle of nowhere,
but the road they were on is more of a main 2, but it's only 2 lanes, but it's a main 2-lane affair. But the other one's more of a country road, but stop sign was clear, and they got the road marked like crazy. And I don't know if there was snow or anything, but the guy, I don't know, who knows what he was doing, but they said
look up the population, Reeves, of Humboldt.
6,000.
I thought I read it was 6,000.
6,000?
Yeah.
That team would have been that town's cultural center.
Yeah, I talked to Kurt Giles. He played there.
Did he?
Yeah. I called him Saturday morning and did a little piece on him. Yeah, he played there. He got sent there when he was 14.
Wow.
Now, they don't let you do that anymore. They got to be 16 to play in those leagues.
Wasn't Bobby Orr 14 when he got sent away?
Yeah, that wasn't unusual. And Kurt lived in the Pass in Manitoba. And look at the map to see where the Pass is.
How's the Pass spelled?
P-A-S. I don't know if it's the Pass or the Paz, but it's the Pass. But it's Manitoba, northwest corner of Manitoba, 660 miles from the North Dakota border.
Wow.
Yeah, that's where he came from.
Wow.
And they put him on.
That's damn near at the tree line, isn't it?
They put him on the bus and sent him to Humboldt, and he played there for 2 years as a 14, 15. The second year, his dad came down and coached the team.
Are there any NHLers from Humboldt that we know of?
That are natives? I think there are a few, but I'm not sure. But this team the Humboldt Broncos has had 7, 8, 10,
Mm-hmm.
Giles played his first game for UMD. He was 16.
Wow.
Because he got recruited out of there. He turned 17 that fall. But
Wow.
I think it was 2 years later.
The Pass is right in the middle of Lake Country, baby.
Mm-hmm.
It's right smack in the middle of Manitoba. About halfway
What is that?
up.
Is that the
on the line of Saskatchewan?
What's that big body of water there next to it? That's not the Hudson Bay.
That's Hudson.
Yeah, that's
Hudson Bay.
It's halfway up the Hudson Bay. basically.
Humboldt is Saskatchewan, right?
Yes, and it's further south. It's quite a ways south. It's near Saskatoon, but it's 60 miles from Saskatoon. I think it's kind of south.
Is it a farming town?
Yep, farming. And they were heading to Nipawin, which is like 200 miles straight north. Playoff game, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, what a terrible.
And gosh, the pictures of what was the semi that they ran into?
Kind of
what was scattered?
The contents of the whatever he was hauling.
Yes,
no, that's what I mean. It looked horrific.
I think it was like padding for packaging or something that they were.
But initially, when I saw that in the newspaper, I could not believe it looked like an airstrike site.
How fast was the semi guy going?
Well, I don't know, but if you
hit that smack right in the middle, yeah.
Is that the worst team tragedy of that kind since the airplane went down carrying? Help me, which
Marshall?
Well, we've had a few. The Marshall was numbers wise was pretty dang high. We've been doing some this days in history though. We had the boxing team going to Poland years ago. The U.S. boxing team, the U.S. figure skating team got wiped out the one year in a crash. Was it Evansville basketball team that got wiped out in a crash? There's been a few. But you think all the time, all those bus rides those kids take around. And this was daytime. They play the game, they get back on that bus and drive home in snowstorms, I'm sure, in Canada. It's amazing,
I'm told the truck was carrying peat moss.
Peat moss, okay.
So it must have been in some type of containers where you contain peat moss.
Mm-hmm. Boxes of peat moss.
What do you do with some peat moss? I don't know what you do with it. I've heard of it, I just don't know what you do with it.
I think you grow hummus.
Really?
I don't know. I have no idea.
No, that's
you know
humus.
Humus.
Yeah.
That would be a waste of everybody's effort to grow that crap.
You don't like hummus?
I'm with you.
God, I'd rather eat a diaper. It looks like you're eating a diaper.
Sports Talk will return
Come to my
in
house,
just a
you'll
moment.
have that option.
But now, thanks to our great friends in Owatonna, Minnesota, at Federated Insurance, where it's their business to protect your business, and nobody does that better than Federated. It's Bruce Vail from the Wall Street Journal and Your Money Now.
You know what's good for eating that is those chips that are made like scoops, the little Tostino scoops.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good, but I don't know what you use for hummus. We had some gains to start the week. Yeah. They were very small today. The market kind of collapsed in the last hour and a half. The Dow Jones Industrial Average ended up gaining just 46 points after being up more than 400 for a lot of the day. The Dow closed at 23,979. The NASDAQ Composite rose 35 points. The S&P 500 gained 8. If you're on Facebook, you'll find out today whether your account was one of the 87 million obtained by the UK-based data firm Cambridge Analytica for marketing purposes. Users will see a message when they log on through a link at the top of their news feed. And PayPal is nudging its customers closer to mainstream banking services. The payments company has been quietly reaching out to groups of customers in recent months with an offer to add basic banking features to their PayPal digital wallets. Those features include FDIC insurance for balances and a debit card that can be used to withdraw cash at ATMs. I'm Bruce Vail with Your Money Now on 1500 ESPN.
All right, thanks, Bruce. Traffic sponsored by Liberty Mutual Insurance. It's a pretty nice start for this Monday. Only one incident right now. It's a stall on 94 westbound at Cedar Avenue. The right lane there is partially blocked. Other than that, nothing really going on. No delays, no other incidents around the system. You have enough things to worry about every day. Insurance should not be one of them. You could leave worry behind when Liberty stands for you. Liberty Mutual Insurance. 5 Eyewitness News weather forecast. Partly cloudy, cold tonight, down to 18. Warmer tomorrow, up to 43. All the way up to 53 on Wednesday. Chance of an afternoon shower, and 50s again on Thursday. That's your traffic.
Junk.com.
Here's John Height.
Hey, before you get started, is that wait, they're playing the hockey game in Winnipeg, correct? Friday?
Wednesday and Friday.
Wednesday, Friday. Yep.
Okay. I just got a note from my son Matthew that he acquired 2 tickets for the game, so we're going to be heading up there on Friday. We're going to the game. I'm going to be gone on Friday.
Okay.
You got a special flight?
No, I'm just kidding. I was just trying to fish Patrick in on why. What is this? He's not taking the bait. He's not taking the bait. Though. He is stone faced right now and not taking the bait.
Because your impact on my life is zero. That's why. When I come in here to do the 3 to 4 on Friday, whether you're here or not makes no difference. Zero difference.
Yes. Joe was ready to go to Winnipeg with us, though. You really got to
I was thinking.
Right.
I wouldn't mind going up there to see how crazy they are.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
It's cloudy.
I only have 2 tickets, though, guys. So
Cloudy and 38.
I'd sell them if I were you.
He was kidding, Pat. He doesn't have any tickets.
Twins open up.
But if I got them, it's okay to go, you're saying?
No, it's not.
I didn't know they flew there.
Right.
Twins opened up a 3-game series against the Astros tonight at Target Field. Lance Lynn making his second start for Minnesota. Justin Verlander on the mound for the Astros.
Johnny, I stated earlier, because I was going off memory because I did this when they started playing April night games, that they had 7 April night games from 1961 till 1981 at Met Stadium. 7 of them. But in further research, we could only find 1.
Really?
We could only find 1. So why would we, all these years later, play April night games? One reason, FSN.
Television. Yeah.
Regional networks want night games. Here's the deal. 80% of your audience is in nursing homes anyway. Put the game on at night. They'll think they're watching a doubleheader. And you can play the afternoon game and put her back on at night, and everybody will say, whoa!
And the only thing you have to do is just have them come in and circle someone else in the 8th inning, not the same people every time. Right.
Looks like verbal agreements in place for University of Minnesota women's basketball coach Marlene Stallings to take over as the new coach at Texas Tech. Stallings interviewed for the opening with the Red Raiders. A source close to her said she's expected to get a bump in pay to take the job.
Marlene, we hardly knew ye.
That's right. But Mark Coyle did not make a noble effort to retain her.
Imagine if he had those standards for his men's basketball coach.
Right.
She's notified the U of her intention, and the school's administration has let the team know a search has begun to find a new coach. 82-47 over 4 seasons, coming off a 24-9 season, ended with a second-round loss to Oregon in the NCAA tournament.
It's a no-brainer. Whalen.
Yeah.
Memphis University just hired Penny Hardaway, one of their great players. He's been coaching AAU basketball, but he can get the kids to come to school, right? And then somebody else can coach, you know. Same thing with Whalen. But how's this for marketing? Whalen is your new coach, and she's playing with the Lynx to try to win another WNBA title before she has to coach the team in October. Mm-hmm. This is marketing at its zenith.
Genius.
At its zenith, and she hires 2 or 3 good assistants to run things until she's done playing.
There you go. Perfect. Yep. Done deal.
Great idea.
That means it won't happen.
Oh, hell no. They haven't listened to me.
Right,
you two listened to me one thing.
I've never had a successful idea.
You two have a pretty good track record of people not listening to you. It's just,
we're fantastic.
You ever thought?
We are. We're great, man. And if they listened to me, they wouldn't be playing night games in April, I guarantee you.
If they listened to me, you'd have this game at night in the dome.
That's right. We wouldn't have had to build the new dome. We would have called Ziggy's bluff, said, you ain't leaving. Who you think you are?
I want you guys to know how hard I fought to not tweet at the Twins president about a U.S. Bank Stadium question over the weekend. I was so tempted by that.
We've got the dirt out of there yet from the monster trucks?
Nope.
We could play.
We got the other one, though, this weekend.
We got the
motocross this weekend.
Oh, so you get the dirt. You're doing a doubleheader? So you're getting the gearheads in there 2 weeks in a row?
Well, that way you can use the same dirt.
Yeah, but you got to get the same saps to show up twice.
I think for President St. Peter, that's an easy way for you to get immediately blocked.
Yeah, I didn't want that
Kenny
to happen.
and Patrick.
Mm-hmm. News notes from today. An Anoka man sentenced to life in prison today for beating a World War II veteran to death over the 2016 Thanksgiving weekend. I remember the story from Anoka. 28-year-old Isaiah Thomas will be eligible for parole after 30 years in the killing of Albert Lowling. Thomas pleaded guilty in March to first-degree murder with intent. As part of his plea agreement, 1 count of premeditated first-degree murder was dismissed. That means he did not have to serve a mandatory sentence of life without the chance of parole. The 95-year-old Lowling was beaten with a flashlight and a clock at his home in the 1200 block of 5th Avenue South in Anoka. He bought that home back in 1945, lived independently with some assistance from his family. Thomas lived 6 blocks away. Lowling last seen alive on Thanksgiving Day when relatives dropped him off at his home. A relative found his body the following Monday while delivering groceries.
Life is too good for the guy.
Yes, I agree.
Mm-hmm. The FBI today raided the office of Michael Cohen, President Trump's longtime personal lawyer. Oh. Seized records related to the payment to the pornographic film actress Stormy Daniels.
See, this has gone the way of the... We started investigating, what was the name of the place? Whitewater, right? Mm-hmm. With Hillary and Bill.
Yep.
And we ended up worrying about whether he was orally gratified in the Oval Office. Mm-hmm. This is the same. What does this... Who cares if he and Stormy got her on? Who cares?
You know, I happen to agree with you.
Yes,
I don't understand why...
But this is the same thing the Republicans did to try to get rid of Clinton.
You know what I'm hearing? This music. It stinks of this is not the bumbling idiots.
But, how is it different than Monica? It's not.
Cohen's attorneys.
Can you imagine if Twitter had existed back then the way it does now?
Well, actually, it's considerably different than Monica.
Why?
Because this thing with Stormy was years ago.
But so what?
Well, but
Billy, if you're president, you can still flip around and
please be careful.
Get satisfied.
Please be careful.
I know. I'm watching as usual. I'm watching my observations.
I know, but I've seen that face off the air before.
But what did that have to do with financial hijinks in a Arkansas financial deal? It was the most idiotic waste of time of all time.
The other way it's different is the financial hijinks here could prove to be a problem if they can't justify the $130,000 and say it came from Trump's personal campaign money.
Speaking of financial hijinks, I am available.
Oh. A topless woman who appeared as an extra on The Cosby Show was taken into custody this morning after she lunged at the comedian when he arrived at a courthouse in Pennsylvania.
She didn't do anybody any favors.
As the 80-year-old arrived at court today for a sexual assault retrial.
How old was she?
She's 39.
Oh, really?
Topless protester with the words Cosby and rapist painted on her back jumped the barrier ahead of the comedian.
And she was hiding in a bush. Did you see
She
that?
jumped into the bush. She was thrown to the ground, ended up in a bush, and cuffed by police.
Hey, Mickelson.
District Attorney's Office identified the protester as 39-year-old Nicole Rochelle of Little Falls, New Jersey. She was charged with disorderly conduct.
Hey, Mickelson. He hid in the woods again.
If convicted, she'd be assessed a fine and be required to pay court costs. According to her IMDb page, she appeared in 4 episodes of The Cosby Show between 1990 and 92.
Does she claim Bill got frisky with her?
She hasn't claimed that at this
Bush,
point.
give me a ball. Give me a ball, Bush. I voted for Gore, you Hey, Bush, give me a ball. Give me a ball. Hey, you're all right.
You're all right.
But Cheney sucks. He sucks.
A Cosby spokesman, Andrew Wyatt, told reporters outside the courthouse the actor was not affected by Rochelle's behavior because, quote, he can't see. He didn't see it all, so it didn't affect him, according to the spokesperson. He added that he thought her act of protest was in poor taste.
Okay.
What a story.
Well,
We got to get back to traditional values.
Yes,
What's going on?
Yes, we do. Let's take a break.
I'm looking at the clock.
Yeah, we're good. All right, Greg.
Boy, I wish traffic guy was here to hear this.
Yes.
Yeah, what's up, Kenny? How you
The
thinking?
surly Swede will be back tomorrow.
Thank God.
Oh, you're the only guy rooting for him to be back.
The worst Kenny is the day after vacation, Kenny.
Yeah.
You think he's refreshed? He's worse than he left.
He's walking a lot slower the day after a vacation.
I can't believe I'm back here putting up with you bleeps.
People think it's an act.
Nope.
Oh, no.
It's not an act.
No, he turns on the charm when he's on the air.
Yeah, right. That's the nice kitty.
What is the story, speaking of Kenny?
Oh, because of the bumper music.
Oh, yeah. It's one of his favorites.
He doesn't
Let's
care
put
for
it
the
that
highly
way.
researched bumper music.
Neither do I, to tell you the truth.
One sort of
On that one. I like what we have on
Right.
TL.
One sort of sports story. As a Packer fan, I follow the team somewhat closely. They have a wide receiver who's one of the fastest guys in the league.
What's his name?
Trevor Davis. But he does really stupid things on the field. He runs back kicks for him and makes stupid decisions doing that. I think that may extend to his real life,
Yes,
too.
yes. There is evidence that he's not a bright individual.
He was arrested yesterday at Los Angeles International Airport for making a bomb threat.
That's not fun.
Los Angeles Airport Police spokesperson Rob Pedregon said
Now listen
that
to this.
Davis and a female companion were checking in at the Hawaiian Airlines ticket counter Sunday morning when the ticket agent asked them if they had a list of unapproved items like aerosols, knives, or explosives. That's, of course, standard procedure. Davis then turned to the companion and, according to Pedregon, made a statement in the area of, yeah, did you pack the explosives?
Sometimes
Well,
it's
he was
hard to
being
resist.
funny.
Yes, you thought he was being funny.
Airport police were alerted to the 24-year-old's comments. He was subsequently arrested on a misdemeanor charge of making a bomb threat.
Oh, but he could do time, and it's expensive and everything.
He was booked into the L.A. jail shortly after noon Sunday, released within an hour on $15,000 bail, according to online inmate records. He's due to appear in court on May 3rd. The Packers said in a statement, the Packers are aware of the matter involving Trevor Davis. We are in the process of gathering more information and will refrain from making any further comment as it's an ongoing legal
Mike
matter.
McCarthy strikes me as a guy, the coach over there, who restrains himself as best he can. But when he flips, I get the impression that when he flips, he flips.
Yeah.
I'd like to sit in the first meeting when he calls this rockhead into his office and starts screaming at him.
A Virginia man who...
But how many times, sorry, Johnny, but how many times do you think the average NFL coach, when they get news, not of this nature, but they just shake their head going, what is wrong with these morons?
Oh, yeah, it's a tough job because, 60% of them come into the league stupid, and then half of them end up with brain damage. So
Right.
it's really
It's downhill from stupid.
That day you sign up, it's downhill.
A Virginia man who shared a $200,000 lottery prize with his family had practice. He did the same thing 14 years ago. Benjamin T. Owens of Mineral, Virginia.
Now there's a good Southern name.
Bought a Virginia Lottery Super Cash Scratcher ticket from Spencer's Express, scratched off a $200,000 prize.
Wow.
That had happened to him also in 2004. His daughter, Cherie, said he yelled out, "I did it again." Owens decided to use the money the same way he did in 2004, splitting it with his wife and his son. The family visited lottery headquarters together to claim the prize money. A good-humored Texas mother has apologized to her son's elementary school. I'm glad Kenny's not here for this one.
No. He wouldn't have liked the previous one either.
Oh, he would have hated that one.
Yeah, all right.
After learning he went to classes dressed in an X-rated novelty T-shirt, which he mistook for a McDonald's slogan and logo.
The mother did or the child?
The kid wore it to school.
Grabbed his own togs.
Shelley McCullers' son, Anthony, got the T-shirt out of a bag of hand-me-downs that the family received from family friends. He picked the T-shirt out and wore it to Travis Elementary School in Pampa, Texas, without Mom ever seeing it.
Okay.
She was stunned when he got back home wearing the T-shirt, which, think of the Golden Arches, the
Yes.
Got him.
but instead it's a pair of legs.
Okay.
And,
All right.
and then right.
And the slogan is
I'm
different.
loving it. No,
Yeah.
the slogan is I'm loving
I'm
it.
loving it.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right.
You got it.
Which
so
was
far, right?
McDonald's slogan.
Okay.
Right. Big Mac, or what do you got?
Innocent Anthony mistook the
I'll
legs. Mistook the legs for the fast food chain signature Golden Arches.
How old
yes.
is this kid?
He was in elementary school, so
He didn't
1
know
through
any
6
better.
somewhere.
Yeah.
No, he didn't.
In a
Why
suite
did this become a national story?
because Mom apologized. Apparently,
Is it in this country?
Plus, it's
Yeah,
funny.
Texas. It's in Texas.
Joe's worried about the
Yeah, Mom put it on Facebook. Is how it became a story.
I don't like this story.
then
This
it-
should not be a story.
Well, if we didn't have this kind of story, Joe, you'd have no 340
Yeah,
segment.
right.
No, but I mean, this is an idiotic story.
Well,
Well,
I think
2 in a row, 3 in a row.
I think the thing is, Joe, that Mom apologized on Facebook, even though nobody busted the kid. He went to school. No teacher said a word. Nothing. They must have all thought it was
Then how did
McDonald's.
it become a story?
Mom on her Facebook page uploaded an apology saying,
boy.
So
He
she
probably
was
thinks
trying.
you're at this-
She,
Oh boy, yeah.
she
There's the that's the T-shirt.
"Oh, you found it, huh?"
Yeah, put your cheaters on there, cowboy.
Right.
Well,
the high heels might have given it away.
How could however many teachers look at that all day and not know what it is?
But how
When
could,
did they change the arches?
what are they serving there these days?
Mom says, by the way, now she is going through that entire bag of clothing that they got from the friends to make sure there's nothing else there. So,
Well, thanks, Mom.
Joe,
You got to leave?
Yeah, I'm not sure how that T-shirt got through with the school.
So what has to happen here for the Mighty Wolves to make the playoffs? They got to win tonight, don't they?
They pretty much have to win too. Well, they got to beat Denver on Wednesday night, I think, no matter what. Denver could lose to Portland, which I doubt Portland cares about the game one way or another. They're locked into third place. So I think Denver will probably beat them. But if Denver were to lose, then if the Timberwolves beat Memphis, they would be in. But the Timberwolves have played so poorly the last month that they have made a game against Memphis a drama, a home game against Memphis a drama because they managed to lose to them a couple of weeks ago, which is the game that really put them in trouble as far as the playoffs are concerned.
So you go into the playoffs as the 8th seed.
You play
Houston?
Get your ass kicked
See ya.
4 games. You
See you
got no
later.
shot.
Yeah.
Houston, here's the problem, Joe. The Timberwolves are about the worst three-point team in the league because they don't have three-point shooters, and Houston makes 20 a game. So Houston's going to make 20, and you're going to make 5. That means you just gave up 45 points. Mm-hmm. You got to figure out a way to make up 45 points.
That's a lot of
shooting
points.
twos and free throws. So it don't work. So they have no chance against Houston, and they really no chance against Golden State.
You like the Wild's chances?
Not great. They're underdogs, but what the hell? Last year at this time, you thought the Blues, they'd beat the Blues. So it's hockey, Joe. Mm-hmm. You know who the team that really screwed up was Boston, not winning last night. Boston would have gotten to play the New Jersey Devils had they won. Instead, they get Toronto in the first round, and Toronto was as good as Boston is, maybe more. They got some firepower, plus they got Austin Matthews. I didn't realize how big that kid is. I saw some highlights about him last night. He's 6'3", 220.
Only 2 Canada-based teams are in the playoffs, Toronto and Winnipeg.
Hey, there's been years where there's even worse than that. So no
Calgary, no Vancouver, no Edmonton, no Montreal.
This Edmonton's a hell. This Winnipeg's a hell of a story, though. They never had this kind of. I think they thought they were getting better, but they had no expectations that they would be this good. For goodness sakes!
Yeah, it would be fun to go up there for a game.
Oh, it would, because they care, man.
You guys want to go up on Friday, or what's up?
Yeah, I think we could.
You got a couple tickets, don't you?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Pat did not bite on that one. I thought he'd be like, hang on here. And Joe was already packing his bag. I'm up to Winnipeg.
How many local airlines fly to Winnipeg?
I got to think Delta
Delta's about it, I would guess.
I don't know.
Somebody told me it's expensive as hell to fly there.
There is an Air Canada, but they're usually Toronto. But they might
go
might
to Toronto and then Winnipeg. That would make sense. Yeah.
Oh, hell, that's drivable. Although this spring, you're getting a blizzard.
Right.
Yes, you can. Anyway, yeah, it'll be fun.
Who do you got coming up?
Well, I have the fellow from Winnipeg.
Yeah.
Got Brian McTaggart. He covers the Astros. And Wade Keller with a full report on WrestleMania. What happened last night on WrestleMania?
What is he, the Sarge? What's his nickname?
No, Pro Wrestling Torch. He's been doing it for 100 years. Wade Keller. He'll give us the review of WrestleMania, which broke out Ronda Rousey as their new star.
I like the full disclosure of wrestling.
Yes. This is they had a 10-year-old kid who was on a winning team.
ESPN is KSTP St. Paul.